Wow, we have reached the gigantic ending of Season 2. So take a journey with me some more as I continue to watch through Star Wars Rebels for the first time. Well, hello there. My name's Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Disney once more. Quick announcements before launching in. I am live streaming my first watch of the Season 3 opening arc of Rebels here on Sunday the 7th at noon Pacific Standard Time. Coming up pretty soon. 8 p.m. UTC London time, by the way, if that helps. And also, hey, if you're into the MCU, Thursday nights at 11:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 15 minutes before the episodes air, you can go and join me and my wife Natalia as we live stream the new WandaVision episodes. That'll just be pull up your own copies and watch along with us, same as we do here for Star Wars. Well, hey, anyway, with that, it is Rebels Season 2 finale time. Well, with one other episode first, actually. So here we go. Episode 20 is The Mystery of Chopper Base, which apparently is named that way because I guess Chopper discovered the base. Not something that actually comes up in the episode, but something that is told by everybody watching along with me. Well, we start off, and right off the bat, I love the little glimpses of the fleet. Just a continuing delight for me to see it. So here we're off at a new planet. We're setting up a new rebel base. Kanan and Ezra are getting lots and lots of training. A little bit of ominous themes potentially toward the future in there. You can tell there's a little more setup for that finale going on. Oh, and something I love, just this tiny bit, but we do see AP5 and Chopper griping about the crew. So hey, we are going to see AP5 a little more. Yes. Definitely I was hoping so. I was hoping he wouldn't just completely fade into the background, so it was a good moment. Oh, and we've got this super obvious setup line in here. Rex with the line, "At least there's nothing trying to kill us." What could possibly happen in this episode after a line like that? Oh right, something's gonna try to kill us. But hey, first before we touch that, there is a beautiful moment with Zeb with his outdoor setup and the music at sunset. Ezra's there too, but it was just a nice character moment for Zeb. I really liked it. And then off to the plot. So we actually kill off a pilot out at the perimeter as they're going and putting up these sensor beacons. And they're giant spider creatures. Apparently they're similar to the ones from Mandalorian and similar to the ones that were back in concept art back in old original trilogy Star Wars concept art back there. But yeah, I'm impressed. Hey, we killed someone off. I mean, we do kill pilots off on occasion, so I suppose we've been getting a little more comfortable doing that even as Season 2 has been going along. And Sabine and Rex go off to investigate. Rex gets abducted. Hey, at least he doesn't get killed, because that's what happens when you're a main character. And Sabine gets rescued, unsurprisingly. And we do notice that, hey, look, that perimeter tower there, that sensor beacon, seems to have held the spiders at bay. ... And also Zeb. Zeb has this really interesting reaction to the spiders. He has this big thing against multi-leggers, as he refers to them, really anything more than 2 legs. And I feel like there's some more backstory coming here at some point in the future. It doesn't happen in this episode, but it's coming. He doesn't have that big a hatred for it without something else coming. Well, anyway, it is now rescue time. Into the lair of the spiders we go with our good old ghost crew. Hey, there's nobody else on this planet to go help or mount a rescue mission. It's gotta be our people. And I'm sorry, I've gotta go ahead and just take Hera to task for this for a moment, because she makes a horrible call to have the Jedi go off on their own. Because, well, the others need to get used to being without them since the Jedi are gonna go off on a mission shoot. So, I gotta be honest, horrible call. Why would you do that? You've got them with you here. Maybe keep you all alive for the moment. I'm sure you're all plenty capable to be on your own later. Heck, and even in this case, they only end up surviving because the Jedi catch up with them and slay some spiders. So clearly it was a bad call. Well, anyway, some other fun stuff that happens. Ezra tries to connect with a spider and actually fails. I think this is the first time we've seen him fail to really connect with some other non-human animal in there. So that's interesting. And love the interaction between Ezra and Kanan, which we've been continuing throughout from the beginning, and here too, this piece about, hey, I wish you had more common sense. I did before I met all of you. Kinda did. Oh, Mr. Run and not join anything, right? Good old Lothrat. Well, anyway, off we go. There's a big battle at the ship. Apparently, even the shots from the cannons on the ship can't pierce her armor. Dang. When we want to talk about insane armor, that is, whew, thank goodness that didn't happen in Mandalorian. Hello. Well, anyway, so the ship's overwhelmed and webbed by spiders, and they eventually figure out, oh wait, that sensor over there, that might be running them off, so let's go ahead and do something. Now, if this were a different show, or with different people, that would be where we reprogram the ghosts to go ahead and send out a similar signal. It would make sense. But not here. They're much more action-oriented and not quite so technical. So they go out to go run and grab that sensor marker instead of just duplicating the signal. Whoops. Makes for a lot more action and drama, so they run on out. And, well, side note by the way, it comes up, so I'd love to see Sabine with a jetpack. That would be cool. Anyway, everybody gets their big fight scenes, we fend off the spiders, we get away, and, well, we're still gonna keep the base because now we'll just create a big ol' perimeter fence with a whole bunch of sensor markers. Yay! Yeah. So that's most of the episode. Then we have a bit of epilogue stuff, which is some good character moments, really. We get a quick moment with Sabine and Kanan, and back to I love their relationship. They have this real way of talking to each other. I guess it feels more like they're the warriors who know each other to a degree. It's interesting how Zeb doesn't actually hit that same feeling with those two. But yeah, anyway, between those two it does. And well, anyway, she gets Kanan to wake up a little regarding Hera not being okay with him and Ezra going off, even if she understands and knows it has to happen. And so then we get this conversation between Hera and Kanan that, well, hey, whatever you're facing, I wanted to face it together. And that just not being a strong possibility here because of Jedi and Sith and all of the rest of that. What a bloody mess. And Kanan makes a promise. We'll see each other again. Yeah. Here at this moment, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Having watched all of these episodes, ew. And then Ahsoka appears. Yay! We always love seeing Ahsoka. I certainly do. But she appears with super ominous music around her. So yeah, this episode was a good enough one. It was a little dull at times, but had some great character moments between our crew. And definitely plenty more setup for the finale while we're at it. So yeah, there you go. That was the mystery of Chopper Base. And now without further ado, on to Twilight of the Apprentice, the two-part season finale. Part 1, Kanan, Ezra, and Ahsoka are all off to the planet Malachor. Now this is a planet that has been off limits to the Jedi because it's way dangerous, Sith stuff, etc, etc. And first off, we have a beautiful discussion between Ahsoka and Rex, by hologram for Rex, and it mirrors our first discussion at the beginning of Clone Wars. Beautiful mirroring. This talk about, well, experience outranks everything, but this time for Ahsoka, then I definitely outrank you. Very different than the first time where, she didn't quite have as much experience there. But yeah, no, beautiful, nice moment, especially when you then again watch that original interaction and have that connection heavy in your head. Yeah, ominous too, of course, we should note if you're gonna make that kind of a reference. Well, anyway, off to Malachor, and they get down on the surface, and I gotta say, the glassy surface really made me think of Obsidian when I saw it. Giant, cool, big obelisks that are out there, and, well, Ezra is kind of drawn by the dark side to go touch one, which leads to them falling down under the, well, it's kind of a fake surface, I guess. I'm not sure why that surface is up there, considering there's a big surface way down below, where there had been a giant Jedi-Sith battle, probably from the big old days of the Sith and Jedi Wars. Because this isn't just one Sith, this is the armies on both sides, so ooh, interesting stuff going back there. And hey, in case you missed it, there's a ginormous Sith temple down there too. And well, Ahsoka says they're after forbidden knowledge, which is an interesting statement, of course. Miss Ahsoka, who's not technically a Jedi here, it's more okay to be after that forbidden knowledge. And hey, things can never be easy, so let's pop up a new Inquisitor. After all, we kinda need a new one, because the other two weren't really that intimidating. So this one definitely seems to be a bit more of a threat than those other two. Hell, seems more a threat than the other two combined, really. And we get this really weird thing going on, because apparently now all of the Inquisitors can use their lightsabers as helicopters. I gotta say, if they can always do that, I'm not sure why we only just first saw it now. And it's weird and probably not a great thing, but yeah, okay, whatever, sure, let's move on. So Ezra gets separated from Kanan and Ahsoka, and Oh, this takes a turn I was not expecting here in this finale. I was expecting it was more Ahsoka Vader focused, and while that certainly exists in here, there's a big ol' piece this way with Ezra. So that whole Twilight of the Apprentice is most certainly a reference to him as well. Or even in some ways a bigger way? Yeah. Well, Ezra down there runs into a thinner, older man in a cloak who happens to be Maul. As he says, not Darth anymore. Although he doesn't say that until like the end of the episode. And oh, I love it. The acting, the portrayal. Oh, it is so dang good. First, they give each other fake names. They're not going to say their real name at first, so Jabba and Old Master. And you can see off the bat the way Maul's lightsaber is hidden in his walking staff. Oh, that's clever. It's great. And just listening to him, oh, I've always loved Maul, and I've loved the voice performance given to him as well. Frankly, his arguments and rapport building here are really good. They're good arguments. You could buy these arguments yourself if you were here in his place. But yeah, no, he's slowly manipulating Ezra more and more toward the dark side. Oh, man. Yeah. So they make it all the way over to the Sith Temple because, hey, there's knowledge in there. And then Maul has kind of slowly been teaching Ezra the Sith code this whole time. And to get into the temple, well, these are super heavy doors. And Maul tells him that, hey, you're going to have to go tap into the dark side via your anger to do it. Clever. Yeah. I don't think he uses the phrase dark side, but point being, tapping into your anger to get through it. Yeah, he's certainly putting a lot of the effort into opening those doors himself, but just not making it clear how much effort he's really using. Oh man, master manipulator Maul right there. And well, that rapport building pays off. Ezra actually tells Maul his real name, and Maul gives him his name too, which is a great touch. We are nicely building how Maul's gaining Ezra's trust. It's completely believable in the way it's played off. It's nicely done. And well, they find a Sith holocron in the center. They do this force shove jump, and Ezra activates the temple. Meanwhile, we've got a 3-on-2 battle for our Jedi. So they've been out there. They actually went ahead and beat the first Inquisitor, and well, that went well enough anyway. They eventually won that, actually with the help of Chopper, funny enough. It got cool to see Chopper actually get a real hit in. Go Chopper. But in the course of it, that Inquisitor called 2 of the others, and so the 2 we know that aren't a huge threat, but hey, combined with 3 of them, yeah, it kind of is. So then all 3 of them are there to fight our 2 Jedi, and that's the moment where Ezra and Maul come back out of the Sith Temple. And apparently those Inquisitors were actually here to hunt Maul, who they call the Shadow. And Ahsoka, of course, unsurprisingly, instantly recognizes Maul when he pops up. And this is about where the episode ends, with Maul and Ezra joining the others, and Maul with a, "What fun! What fun!" Oh, such a fun character. Beautiful picturesque ending, as of course this is Dave Filoni with picturesque moments in there, so yeah, that's certainly one too. I wish they put silence for the credits in the jump, although maybe we could have had some lightsabers humming for it. But yeah, this, by the way, is really just a pause break. This is not one of those cliffhangers that's really going to stop in any more meaningful way. It could really just be a continuous single episode. Now this one, very good episode. Definitely not what I was expecting. Really all the focus on Ezra surprised me, actually, to the degree that it was. I expected it would keep going over time, but I figured it was going to be a slower build than this. And hey, let's not go ahead and keep wasting too much more time. This one, as I said, was really good, but there's not much of a pause there, so shouldn't be a whole lot of pause here either, right? Part 2, Twilight of the Apprentice, episode 22 of season 2. So we're straight back into it. Maul, formerly Darth, now just Maul, is up in the fight and he joins it. And well, you unsurprisingly, those Inquisitors know that they're screwed and they helicopter away. Oh yeah, let's hope we don't see a lot more of that in the future. There are a lot of good conversations here in this one too. Maul with his ominous piece, because good old Ahsoka asks, "What game are you playing?" "The Endgame, Lady Tano. The Endgame." Is there any other game? Certainly not for Maul. I mean, Maul's always somebody who's focused on whatever endgame he's up to, right? Well, there's tons of talk between the 4, and they're clearly uneasy about Maul, and I'm loving watching this here. And we get this good comment from Ahsoka that is gonna have a lot of meaning later, where she tells Ezra that there's no way a Jedi can unlock the holocron. But hey, nevertheless, you can still use the holocron to unlock the temple itself, says Maul. And Kanan really wants to get the hell out of here, and we might have listened to Kanan and actually go that way. Might not have been a bad idea. But between Ezra and everyone else, he gets convinced, so they stay. We're gonna go to that temple, try to find that information. So off to the elevator, which is outside the temple. It's kind of a cool design for an elevator, actually. And Maul tries to go with Ezra by himself. Kanan ain't having that, even with that little only two, no more, no less. Rule of two. Yeah, no work on that one. Although this probably didn't work as well for Kanan as he hoped. He gets into a bit of fight with Ezra as he's going up. He kind of just pushes Ezra further away, trying to tell him that Maul's trying to use him. Yeah, and just as Ezra sees it, not trusting him or seeing his potential. And then, well, they get ambushed by one of the Inquisitors up there, and Kanan just gets knocked out quick, and Maul actually ends up getting up there on the second elevator with Ahsoka and actually saves Ezra. That really didn't work well for you, Kanan. So this time they're going to split up again for the next set of elevators, and this time Maul and Ezra are going together. Yeah, dangerous putting those two together. I think I made that joke over on the live stream too, but I won't go further than that. You all know the line. But Ahsoka has a line in here, and she's saying they'll all be fine, that Ezra will be fine, because Kanan taught him? If only? Oh, if only that worked. Well, then Anakin would be fine too, right? And so would Dooku, and so etc, etc, etc. Man, it does not work that way. Need a morale boost, I know. Bump up the spirits right here, make them feel better, but oh, I wish it worked that way. Well, heading on up, Maul is getting more and more into Ezra's head, and Seventh Sister shows up to go fight them this time. And Maul is egging Ezra on to tap into the dark side this whole time in their fight, and eventually he just grabs her through the Force by the neck, Maul that is, and then tries to get Ezra to strike her down and kill her while he's holding her, unarmed, by the neck. It's like, wow. Ezra is tempted, but thankfully, and I suppose not surprisingly here, we didn't have enough time to really push Ezra that far. But no, he doesn't do it, and Maul kills her and tries to admonish Ezra for not having done it. But even then, the temptation on Ezra, it's like, oh, where we might go with this later could be very interesting. I just don't know if the show's willing to do it, but I hope. Well, let's see. Fifth brother and the new Inquisitor are the ones off fighting Ahsoka and Kanan. And, well, Maul and Ezra split up, sends Ezra up to the temple to go bring that good old holocron in there. And Maul senses Vader arriving. That's part of why he's rushing here. And then he heads on down to join the fight. Maul quickly dispatches Fifth brother, and by dispatch I mean kill. And then we get a great picturesque shot of the other three, which again, only Filoni. Beautiful picturesque shot. And well, it seems we killed the other Inquisitor too. The new one's off and dead because he tries helicoptering away on a damaged lightsaber. So we just killed those Inquisitors off. So much for helicoptering away. So I wonder what we'll use when it comes to season 3. We can't use Vader as a common bad guy or anything like that. The Inquisitors are dead. Our Jedi have been getting more powerful. Ezra has certainly been getting more powerful. So that's going to be an interesting question. I don't know where we're going to go with that part of it. Super curious to see what we do. And now it's time for what I'm going to say is the betrayal. It shouldn't be the most surprising betrayal because this is Maul. And Kanan's all, hey, where's Ezra? You mean my apprentice? Oh, yeah. Now, Kanan somehow, even after that line, still doesn't get his attention back fast enough. And Maul attacks and, well, Kanan gets blinded by this because he wasn't able to pull that lightsaber up fast enough to defend, so it was too close to him. Yeah, you get Ahsoka defending Kanan against Maul because of this, and we get a little Duel of the Fates in the music here, which actually is super appropriate. Think if this went the other way, if Maul won, what then happens to Ezra? It could be a very, very different thing if it went the other way. Well, anyway, or frankly, even just if Kanan died, it could be. Well, anyway, Ahsoka heads on up to help Ezra as Vader is on his way, and we know he's coming. And that leaves Kanan to fight Maul. Kanan blind, by the way, at this moment. And I'm sorry, I really think Kanan beats Maul way too fast. I have issues with it. Maul disappears off the edge. Obviously, he doesn't actually die. We see him at the very end of the episode, off in a fighter, leaving the planet. But I think the problem was really just a time issue. Imagine the show were streaming, they would have been able to add a few more minutes, give us a really good fight between Kanan and Maul, and maybe justify this a bit, but they just really needed to move on with the story, and I think that's what caused it to happen as fast as it did. But whatever. We move on. We accept it, and he got the drop on Maul. Maul was just a little too arrogant and too much hubris for the moment. So up to the top of the temple, Ezra inserted the holocron there, and well, we actually get the voice actor for Ventress playing the part here, and well, knowledge is power. And apparently this temple is actually a battle station, and Maul knew it, and hey, big old weapon to try to go kill the Emperor and Vader and get revenge on everyone. That's kind of what Maul's endgame was here. Not quite what Ezra was after, so at that point he knows that Maul was tricking him. I'm still saying that some of those temptations for the dark side, those will come back later. Who knows, maybe even Maul will come back later. Maybe he can actually make another appeal to Ezra, but it feels a little late for that at this point. But no more time for that right now, because now it is time for Vader to arrive. And for one of the coolest of those images that Filoni loves getting in our heads with those picturesque poster type moments, this has to be one of the best of the whole show here. Vader coming down, slowly descending, while on top of his TIE fighter. I mean, damn, that is just one hell of an entrance right there. Lightsaber drawn, etc. Yeah. And love James Earl Jones here playing Vader, who, by the way, easily defeats Ezra. Yeah, no problem there. And by the way, Ezra's lightsaber got destroyed in the process of this. Now that's interesting. I wonder what the heck we're gonna do with his lightsaber in season 3. So will he still have some kind of weird blaster lightsaber? Will he just build something new or better? Or is it gonna be very different? I have no idea where we're gonna go with that one. Interesting move, going and showing change over time here. And now it's finally time for Ahsoka and Vader to fight. Long-awaited meeting indeed, as Vader said. Oh yeah. Well, Vader, even during the course of this, actually uses threatening Ezra against Ahsoka, which really feels very, using Leia against Luke in Return of the Jedi. Don't think it's coincidental. It's just part of his MO and how he does it. And man, if that doesn't repulse Ahsoka so heavily, that can't be the Anakin I knew. And Vader, just in the way that he looks at things now, I mean, Anakin Skywalker is weak, I destroyed him. Yeah. And hey, we've got to build up to a big, really good line for Ahsoka, because she says she'll then avenge his death. And Vader tries to goad her back on the other side that revenge is not the Jedi way. I am no Jedi. And the look on her face while delivering that too. It's like, oh, the music, the fight. Oh, one of the best fights this show has seen yet, no doubt. And it's a fast fight. I mean, so much is going on so quick here. I mean, we're talking about two lightsaber duelers who are really bloody good at their game. So yeah. Well, eventually Vader knocks her off the temple, and we leave that for the moment while Ezra and Kanan are getting the holocron back out, which leads to the, collapse of the temple. Sadly, you pull that thing out when it's already gotten in weapon mode, then it's self-destruct time or something of that nature. And Vader then appears and, pulling at that holocron. And, we know the danger there. Of course we don't want him getting it, so hey, we get to go watch Ahsoka running up behind Vader. And another quick bit of fighting between them. She actually goes at his mask and hits it with her lightsaber. And here we actually get to see a bit of Anakin's face, a little bit of the eye, a little bit of the face. And we actually get to hear a bit of his voice too, not just Vader, but Anakin's voice in there. And dang, that moment gets you right there. It's so well done. And they actually brought back in the same voice actor for Anakin from Clone Wars, so yeah. Oh, this piece about, from Ahsoka, that Anakin, I won't leave you, not this time. And of course, all we get from Anakin/Vader is then you'll die. And that's, the last we hear from them during the course of the episode, because Ahsoka force shoves our people off to freedom as the temple shortly explodes afterward. And apparently, from what I've heard from other people, in the original way it aired, it was not clear that Ahsoka actually survives this. It was actually a big question that this was potentially her death here. Although, at least in the way it is now up here on Disney Plus, now you know she's alive afterward because we'll see it in a bit. But first, before that, we get Kanan and Ezra returning off to the Rebel base, and the music is beautiful, haunting, and epic. We're not hearing them talk, it's just seeing it and listening to the music. Hera greeting a blinded Kanan. Rex's sadness when he doesn't see Ahsoka, and well, a look on Ezra's face too. And then we go back to the planet, and for confirmation we see Maul escape, and we watch a badly hurt and pained Vader walking away from the destroyed temple. And Mirai, who always seems to be Ahsoka, is up there watching and flies away. And then we see Ahsoka walking out too, which that's apparently the piece that wasn't really visible. You couldn't tell that you were seeing Ahsoka. Apparently in the original way it was aired, I guess. And then we end on the ghost for one last little piece. So we get to see Kanan with a bandage over his eyes. And the very last piece, super ominous, is Ezra with that Sith holocron, and he starts to open it. Boom, black, we're done. There's a note to end on right there. Woo. Speaking of foreshadowing whatever's going to go on with Ezra, one heck of an episode. So much happened in this finale. Frankly, if anything, I think the only real negative to this episode is that I wish they'd been free of television time restrictions, because there were a few different pieces in there that really deserved a bit more time, but still, wow, and certainly the highlight of the show so far. No doubt. I mean, I can tell why people have spoken so highly of this finale. It's peak Rebels so far. Without any question, there's nothing that gets to this level here. Now for me, I'm curious if anything's going to beat it out later on. I hear that there are plenty of people who think that this was the best, but also some who think that season 4's finale, specifically that one, was better than season 2's. And hey, regardless, I'm certainly looking forward to the rest of the show. And admittedly, my own perspective on it's going to be slightly different, because unlike other people, well, you hadn't seen Mandalorian yet, or hadn't gotten season 7 of Clone Wars yet, with Ahsoka being in there, and that makes a difference in how this is seen, or thinking that Ahsoka might be dead here changes the feel of it as well. And all of those pieces definitely play a difference. Whereas I've of course seen season 7 of Clone Wars, seen Mandalorian up through season 2, and that plays a difference in how it affects me as well, so interesting stuff. Who knows? I mean, I love it nonetheless, don't get me wrong. But wow, yeah, I'm really hoping as we go forward that we keep digging into Ezra and his temptations by the dark side, and I'm sad to be done with Ahsoka here. I mean, I love having Ahsoka pop up. Granted, she's powerful, and that's why we've been having to have good ways of keeping her out a lot of the show, because same reason Vader has to be out. Too powerful. Too dang powerful. Well, anyway, soon it's going to be time to watch season 3, and I mean really soon. It's Sunday, and I'll get my first taste of what to expect here in the aftermath of everything that went down in this finale right here. So feel free to join me live, or hey, go ahead and wait for the regular video like this one that'll come out later. Don't worry, I'll keep putting them out. And hey, I guess with that, well, what about you? What did you think of this finale? Was it the best of Rebels for you, or did you think there's still something better yet to come? Let me know down below in the comments. And while I'm at it, as usual, let me take a moment to thank all of my wonderful patrons who go ahead and really help support the channel. If you're interested in joining them at whatever dollar amount, anything's only too loved by me. There's a link down below in the description. And for everyone watching, thank you so much for watching the video. If you like it, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another new episode of Freeform Disney. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you always.